Hello everybody, welcome back to the Mover Mailbag. It has been a while since we've done one, so I've got a backlog of messages. So this will be part one of this edition of the Mover Mailbag. Part two will be next Friday. So let's get right into letters and then your emails. Okay, this first one is from Kwong in Hong Kong, and it is, oh, cool. What we got in here? Nothing? Okay. It is a card from Hong Kong, and it says, Dear Mover, thanks for hosting the Memorial Service Special. Thanks for American military work during the time of World War II. That is something the Communist China will never talk about. It's actually in red, too. Communist China. When they are only a guerrilla, not even a regime. Where last couple years, when they tried to have their own communists celebrate without giving the credit to others and try now to use national security law and education system, brainwash our kids. Thanks for your work, and Peak is a beautiful place to visit. Eric Chuk in Hong Kong. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. And this is a good reminder. We don't want to be commies. Never, no one ever wants. People say that. They're like, oh, we want communism, socialism. No, you don't. It's never worked, and it's never going to work. So let's not do that. Okay, the next one is from Australia, from Craig, Par Avion. It's like a weird letter kind of thing. And this is, Hi Mover, thought you might like these. Best wishes, Craig. Keep up the great work. What are they? Oh, cool. Sidewinder sticker. Tomcat. Retro pilot. The Viper. It even says Viper, not Fighting Falcon. That's great. That's it. Really cool. Thank you, Craig. First one comes from Eric, and he says, F-18 controls when pulling Gs. I've noticed that the F-18 has a lot of buttons to push. Combine that with the complex sequence you did in the DCS demo video to program the bomb release. Raises the questions, how much does it suck to manipulate controls while pulling Gs? Seems like every commander sequence that's not duplicated in HOTAS would be hard when maneuvering, yeah. Typically you don't, though. Typically you don't do that under G. It's all set up and stuff. So, yeah, it does suck. I mean, that's not great, but typically you don't have to. Like, if you're pulling Gs, you're using just the HOTAS. But that's one thing just in general. I mean, pulling Gs, a lot of people don't think about, like in DCS, about a lot of stuff you take for granted you don't get to do because you're pulling Gs, like the guys who use track IR that look between the tails. That's not going to happen. I mean, you're just not flexible enough to do that in a real jet. All right, next question is from Ron. Hi, my name is Ron. I'm stationed in Guam. I'll be returning to Naval Station Mayport next month. So this is probably this month now. I love all the videos. You do a great job of getting all the right information out, and I can only imagine how many young people you've inspired to join the service to help defend this great country. I served with another government agency for a while in the Middle East and had the experience of being assigned to a SEAL team, providing intel and logistical support, and went down the range with them. I had the opportunity to go up several times in an F-18E trainer. What a great experience. The question I have for you is, I would like to get my private license, but I had a couple mishaps in the Middle East. Just had surgery to take out some small fragments that were near my heart, and they put a pacemaker in me. I have a feeling this is going to disqualify me from medical, even though it paces at a very low rate. Do you have any information that might help? I would appreciate it. We'll be contributing to your Folds of Honor. Great cause. Keep up the great work. Sorry you like the Air Force more than the Navy, but the closer support saved us a few times when we had a tick. Ron. All right, so a couple things. One, you could do sport pilot and not go the medical route and just use your driver's license. That is an option. The problem with going to get a medical is if you get a medical and you're denied, you can't do the sport pilot thing. So this is not advice. This is just me talking. So, I mean, theoretically, if you know it's going to be a problem, maybe you do sport pilot. However, You only need a Class 3 medical, and what you'll probably have to do is give the FAA a whole bunch of documentation, and you'll need a special issuance. But you should be, I mean, I would think you'd be able to get, as long as all the conditions are under control, medical or medicine, all that stuff, find a local designated flight doc that does your medicals in your area and go talk to them. Go try to get a medical and see what they say. But you may have to do, like I said, a special issuance and a statement of demonstrated ability at worst case. But I think as long as everything's under control, you document it, you're honest, I think you should be okay. But I don't know. I don't give medical advice. Thanks for the question. Thank you for support for Folds of Honor, and thank you for your service. That's awesome. All right, this one comes from Stan in Belgium. Been a fan of the channel for some time now, loving the content. Really appreciate you taking the time to answer some viewers' questions. Here's mine. A while back, I was in my local bike shop when I heard some guy talking to the mechanics about how he saved his F-16 after a bird strike. Needless to say, that caught my attention. Apparently, right after takeoff, a bird got sucked into the intake and the engine started to stall, flame out, or whatever. He continued on by saying that he activated the hydrazine to get the engine back to life, managed to land his plane. I suppose it was hydrazine he was talking about because he explained it as something other than the regular jet fuel. Then he went on about getting chewed out by a superior about not following regulations and procedures in case of a similar incident. Besides not being the greatest aviation expert, I'm also somewhat of an introvert, so I restrain myself from asking any questions, but the whole story seems somewhat outrageous to me. I'd like to hear your take on the story. Was he the real deal or just making stuff up to impress people in the shop? Thanks for reading this. I have no idea. There's not enough information there. I mean, yes, you would probably activate the EPU if you had an engine failure or some kind of compressor stall or something from ingesting a bird. But, I mean, you're hearing this secondhand, like you're overhearing it, and I'm hearing this third hand. So the real thing is, what difference does it make? I mean, if the guy's telling the truth, cool story. If not, who cares? I mean, it's not a big deal. But thanks for the email. This comes from Method Man. Mover, thank you for all you do with the channel and videos. One quick question for DCS and Folds of Honor. I was wondering when the next DCS competition for Folds will be. Sorry to hear that the dogfighting show didn't meet the goal. Would have been great to see. Good luck in your helicopter training, Method Man. We're going to work on that. Right now I'm just trying to figure out what the best first place prize will be now that we can't do anything with the jet stuff. But yes, there will be another competition this year, probably in the fall. It was a lot of fun last year. All right, this comes from Colin. Fighter pilot workout routines. Hey, Mover, I've heard you talk about fighter pilot workouts and eating right. Do you personally have any workout routines that you do or eating habits that you try to stick to stay in shape? As always, your channel's fun to watch after work. I hope you're doing well. Tomcats. I wanted to do a video with the trainer at my gym and talk about some core workouts and stuff. You guys want to see that, let me know. Because we were going to do that, do a couple workouts, have her show, you know, kind of what's some good stuff to do. But, you know, I just do do weights. I do interval training, sprints. I run, swim. I mean, just the biggest thing is just, you know, do what works for your body to stay in shape. But there's so many different programs out there. It's just tough to figure out. But if you guys want to see that workout video, let me know. It's not really a workout video, just showing some stuff that we do. Thanks for the question. All right, this comes from Randy. Hope this email finds you in good health and prospering. I found, or rather it found me, your YouTube channel through the puzzling and sometimes confusing algorithm YouTube uses to deposit viewers in specific places. Boy, that's the truth. As a former Huey pilot, IP 68 to 77, I've enjoyed your content and look forward to future content. I'm amazed by the incredible changes in aviation that have occurred in 50 years. Having come from the ADF tactical approaches we used to the current nav aids blows my mind. Throw in GPS and just wow. I was fortunate to receive some additional training early in my career as an Army aviator. For reasons unknown to me, I was sent to IP school after basic flight school. I felt like a fish out of water as I had less than 300 hours total and my classmates were all high-time Vietnam vets. To this day, I attribute my survival to that IP course. I just finished watching your video where you addressed the process of audio publications, which triggered a question. How did you find an editor? I've written rough drafts for a few novels as tell-all of my flying career and find myself in desperate need of an editor. Any suggestions? Also, you might pass on this tidbit for DCS gamers trying to fly the Huey. So far, I find flying the real thing is easier than the sim. I guess the lack of tactile feel is the culprit, so perhaps I would benefit from a simple 3-DOF motion platform to go with my Huey 4.0 controls. Huey 4.0 controls, that sounds fascinating. All right. Suggestions, I'll email you. Like I said, I just made a video about this. Ebook InView editing did not do well for me. Wombat used ebook launch, a little pricier than other places, but he had excellent results. So I will email you back and respond to this. That's a good thing. And maybe we'll get you on the channel, help you promote your book, tell some stories. But that's awesome. If you're flying DCS, you should make videos because it'd be cool to see a real Huey pilot flying in DCS, but I'll be in touch. All right, this comes from Philip. A little background on me. I'm a 10-year Navy veteran, master at arms rate, and due to medical reasons, I separated at 10.5 years. Went on with a make them tell you no attitude and got into a very difficult college program studying architecture, graduated with honors, and got a position in a very successful firm here in North Carolina. All despite having my mother pass away from MS, my father receiving a cancer diagnosis from his time over in Vietnam. I'm sorry to hear that. Fortunately, my father passed away on 6/4. God, I'm sorry to hear that too. After a routine surgery and coming home, the family is devastated, as you can imagine, because he was such a strong person and an anchor to the family. My firm has graciously reached out to me on a bereavement leave and said they would like to do something in his honor for me. I want you to know that I'm choosing Folds of Honor program because being a first-generation college graduate, my family, and having lost several brothers and sisters in combat, along with how much you have done to motivate me, that I believe this is 100% in line with something my father or myself would support. I hope this helps just a little in the same way that you and the Folds of Honor team help folks. Thank you for all you do, and thank the group for me as well. Much respect. No need to share this on YouTube. I just wanted to send you a quick message to let you know, Philip. That's awesome. All right, this comes from Amanda, and it's a long one, but that's what she said. But it's a good story to share on the road of her becoming a military pilot. Mover, I've enjoyed your YouTube channel for the past few years, and your Make Them Tell You No movement has very much resonated with me. I would like to tell my story for those still struggling through the process of gaining a military pilot position, and hopefully this brings some motivation their way. Here are the ups and downs of my journey. Hurdle 1 in 2009, upon graduating high school, I discovered I wanted to fly airplanes, and better yet, maybe even get paid to do it. I took lessons at my local airport in Washington State, realized there was no way I could afford it without some help. I really didn't want to take out a loan, and after speaking with multiple people, I decided to pursue a spot at the Naval Academy. Didn't have any military influence in my life via friends and family, so my efforts were not so obvious to me. I was awarded a spot in the Naval Academy to begin fall 2010. However, just like everything else in the military, the medical evaluation came last. I was all set to attend the academy until I was called in the spring of 2010 that I was going to be denied for a head injury that I had at 14 years old. I was devastated. I knew I had to find another means of achieving my end goal of being a military pilot. I then found out the Navy ROTC was an option, and I could pursue BUPERS waiver for my head injury. After a few months of applications to schools and paperwork for this waiver, I found a good fit for me in Jacksonville University, pursued a bachelor's degree, accepted a 4-year scholarship at ROTC. Hurdle 2, 4 years goes by. I have a 3.8 GPA, obtain all my flight ratings up to commercial multi-engine, keeping a good standing leadership positions within the ROTC unit. I'm thrilled when I receive orders to Pensacola to attain flight school, until about 2 weeks before commissioning when I was asked by the ROTC commander to come into his office. At this point, he informed me that my orders to flight school were being revoked due to a previous head injury that I had a BUPERS waiver for 4 years back. Nammy whammy. That is a real saying too. I then had to choose to either pay $200,000 back, go into the Navy as a surface warfare officer, or nuke. I chose SWO. Hurdle 3. At this point, the wind beneath my wings was stagnant, to say the least. However, once I heard I was not going to be flying for a career in the military, I strove to obtain my CFI rating in 2 months while I was attending training to become a SWO in Virginia. This would at least allow me to obtain flight hours on the civilian side when I was not out to sea. I started to shift my efforts toward becoming an aviation maintenance duty officer, as I figured it wasn't flying, and at least I'd be involved in the maintenance aspect. I served on board a ship as a SWO, but my captain was nice enough to let me serve division officer duties in the aviation intermediate maintenance department. That's a tongue twister there. Or make me more competitive for my lateral transfer to AMDO. The year I applied, a total of 4 people were selected. I was not one of them. I felt defeated. However, I was offered the opportunity to pursue my second choice, lateral transfer intelligence officer. I loved my 1-year training and then 3-year tour spent as an intel officer. Very rewarding, great quality of life, but it wasn't flying. Hurdle 4. At this time, I had decided to get out of active duty and maybe do the Navy Reserves as an intel officer while pursuing the civil aviation side for a professional pilot career. I just couldn't shake the longing and part of being something bigger than myself, contribute via my passion for aviation. I was stationed at Stuttgart, Germany, and Ramstein Air Force Base was nearby. After many phone calls, I was finally awarded a consultation with the flight surgeon. After driving 2 hours to Ramstein for my consultation, I was ready to have yet another door shut in my face and be told no. However, I needed to exhaust all options in pursuit of this goal. I knew I would drive myself crazy in future not knowing what if. Much to my surprise, the flight surgeon said my head injury was easily waiverable after an MRI. I conducted said MRI about 1 month later, and the waiver in hand less than 2 months later, it was becoming a reality. Because I was not a trained pilot in the Navy, I was not able to elect to transfer to active duty Air Force to become a pilot. However, I was able to select either the Guard or Reserves. I applied everywhere I could, and before being awarded a spot with my current C-130J squadron, I was awarded a spot with an F-15 squadron in California. After my flying Class 1 flight physical, I was told on the anthropometric waiver that the F-15 was not included because I'm short at 5'2". I then found a way to sit in an F-15 with a flight surgeon who wrote a letter stating I was able to conduct full deflection of all flight controls. I actually didn't even need the seat or rudders to their full extension. After a few months of processing this paperwork, I was told by Big Air Force that there is no exception policy for those measurements regardless of my letter. Time to find another squadron. Hurdle 5. At this point, I'm 29 years old, not super competitive for fighter squadrons as a result, and the choices of squadrons was dwindling fast. I was fortunate enough to find the C-130J squadron I'm headed to shortly. I was told that only 2 months or so after my separation from the Navy, June 2020, that I would be attending pilot training. Well, that was right after, in the midst of COVID, so that of course didn't happen. I was then asked in 2020 to attend the civil path to wings accreditation in Texas. I was one of 8 who passed out of the 10-person class. As a result of passing the accreditation, I was all set to attend UPT in January 2021, and then my scroll paperwork to transfer me to an 03 Navy to the Air Force. I've done that. Still wasn't complete as COVID and the presidential inauguration didn't speed things along. Once my scroll was finished, I was told I would be going in May of 21. Then the number of seats for the course were diminished, and I was last in, first out. Last week, I officially received my orders to UPT 2.5 and will be going to SEER school beforehand in less than a month. I'm nervous, but so ecstatic that my dream is finally coming to fruition. This venture has been over a decade, and now the real work begins at flight school. I hope you choose to read this on your channel, as I feel like this story is good in terms of not only making them tell me no, eventually making them tell me yes. Thank you for your time. I hope this inspires others that are starting their paths, whatever it may be. That's awesome. I got nothing to add. That is exactly what we talk about, and your squadron is lucky to have you. I think that you're going to be an outstanding asset. Anybody who wants it that badly deserves to be there. I mean, that's just, look at this. Look at all these times, doors shut, but then doors open. So I hope this helps somebody. I really do. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for your story, and good luck. You're going to do great. I have no doubts at all. Well, that'll do it for part 1 of this episode of the Mover Mailbag. Tune in next week while I get to the other questions that I'm trying to catch up on. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.